Hi children, good afternoon. In this video, we are going to see figures of speech of the poem are Casher in a Tree by Taurudat. Now let us see from the first stanza. Like a huge python winding round and round. Okay, so already we know if we get the word like, the figure of speech is simile, right? So what is compared to a huge python? The creeper is compared to a python. So creeper is compared to python. So there is an open comparison here. So if there is open comparison, there will be comparative words like such as like and as. So if there are these comparative words and if there is an open comparison made, then the figure of speech is called as simile. Here the comparison is made between creeper and the python. So like a python, the creeper is climbing. So the figure of speech is simile. So we can say one more huge python winding round and round. So the figure of speech like for huge python winding round and round is zoomorphism, right? So what is the figure of speech is zoomorphism. Now let us see what is meant by zoomorphism. So zoomorphism is nothing but, so zoo means animal, right? So giving animal like qualities to anything that is not that animals such as humans, or giving the feature of animal to another thing, whatever thing it is. Okay, so ஒரு அனிமல் இல்லாமல் வேறு எந்த திங்க்கும் அனிமலை தவிர எக்ஸப்ட் அனிமல் வேறு எந்த திங்க்கும் நம்ம அனிமல் லைக் குவாலிட்டிஸ் கொடுத்தோம் அப்படின்னா the figure of speech is zoomorphism. So here see this example. I can smell your scent for miles. Okay, so who can smell? We human beings also can smell, but it is the basic quality for the animals to smell and find its prey. That is food. Prey means food, right? So here like animal யாருக்கு இந்த குவாலிட்டி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க? ஹியூமன் பீயிங். ஐ ஓகே, என்னால் ஸ்மெல் பண்ணியே எங்கே இருக்க அப்படிங்கிறத கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியும். ஸோ ஹியர் ஹியூமன் பீயிங் இஸ் கிவன் த அனிமல் கேரக்டர் ஆஃப் ஸ்மெல்லிங். ஓகே, ஸோ த ஃபிகர் ஆஃப் ஸ்பீச் இஸ் zoomorphism. ஸோ எவ்வளோ தூரத்தில் இருந்தாலும் ஒன்லி அனிமல் கேன் வித் இட் ஸ்மெல் இட் செல்ஃப் இட் கேன் ஐடென்டிஃபை த ப்ரே. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி யாரோ ஒரு ஹியூமன் பீயிங் ஓகே ஐ கேன் ஸ்மெல் யுவர் சென்ட் ஃபார் மைல்ஸ் எங்கே இருக்க அப்படிங்கிறத என்னால் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிட முடியும். ஓகே, ஸோ இட் இஸ் zoomorphism. ஸோ லெட் us see how it matches in our like a huge python winding round and round. So here already we have seen python means it is a large poisonous snake. Okay, so what is compared to the python is creeper. Okay, here it is said that the creeper is winding around and round the casher in a tree like a python, that is a snake. So the figure of speech is zoomorphism. Okay, so அந்த creeper வந்து அந்த poisonous snake மாதிரி. ஸோ எதுக்கு அனிமல் கேரக்டர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க? இங்கே க்ரீப்பருக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஸோ கிவிங் அனிமல் லைக் குவாலிட்டிஸ் டு எனி திங், வாட் எவர் இட் இஸ், ஹியூமன் பீயிங் ஆர் சம்திங் ஆர் மெட்டீரியல், வாட் எவர் இட் இஸ். வேறு எது அனிமலை தவிர மற்ற எதுக்கு வேணுனாலும் அனிமல் லைக் குவாலிட்டிஸ் கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா the figure of speech is called as zoomorphism. Okay, so here the creeper is given the animal quality of python, that is winding round and round. Okay, let us go for the next line. Up to its very summit near the stars, a creeper climbs in whose embrace is bound no other tree could live. But gallantly the giant wears the scarf. So what is the figure of speech here? But gallantly. So already you know what is meant by gallant. Okay, so gallantly means very boldly, bravely. heroically, hero மாதிரி. ஸோ ஒரு ஹீரோ மாதிரி யார் இருக்க முடியும்? நீங்கள் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஒரு ஹீரோ மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். ஹியூமன் பீயிங்ஸ் கேன் பி லைக் அஸ் அ ஹீரோ, ஒரு ஹீரோயிக்கலி இருக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ இங்கே which is said to be as standing gallantly is the giant. So the giant refers to the casuarina tree, wears the scarf. So scarf நீங்கள் எது சொல்கிறாங்கன்னா creeper. Okay, so the casuarina tree is wearing the creeper like a scarf, and like a human being it is standing very heroically, hero மாதிரி நிக்குது. Okay, so here the casuarina tree is personified as a human being standing heroically. So the figure of speech in this line is personification, right? Next, in crimson clusters all the boughs among whereon all day are gathered bird and bee. So crimson clusters, so these are alliteration. So all of you have been well known what is meant by alliteration, I hope. Okay, so the important thing you have to note in the alliteration is it is not that only first letter should be, the first letters are same, it is alliteration. The thing is the sound of the first letter should be same. Appoda it is alliteration. You should be careful in finding that, right? Now let us go for next. And often at night the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no close, sung darkling from our tree while men repose. Now the next stanza. When first my casement is wide open thrown at dawn, my eyes delighted on its rest, sometimes and most in winter, on its crest, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone. So, a grey baboon sits statue-like alone. Here open comparison is made. So, wherever there is open comparison, there will be comparative words such as like and as. So, here the like is given and the comparison is made between baboon. So, baboon means the African monkey, and the comparison is made between the monkey and the statue. So statue will be still in a place. Still அப்படினா ஆடாம அசையாம அப்படியே இருக்கிறது, that is still position, right? So like a statue, the baboon is sitting in the top of the casuarina tree and it is watching the sunrise. So the comparison is made between baboon and statue. So the figure of speech is simile, right? His punny offspring leap about and play, and far and near kokilas hail the day, and to their pastures wend our sleepy cows, and in the shadow on the broad tank cast by that hoar tree, so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spring like snow en massed. So here in this last line, what is the figure of speech is? Again it is simile, because there is an open comparison made. So because the word like is given, and where is the comparison is this? The comparison is made between the water lilies and the snow. So snow eppadi white color இருக்குமோ, eppadi it will be spreading on the place wherever it is falling. எங்கெல்லாம் snowfall இருக்குமோ it will be spreading. அந்த மாதிரி water lilies are spreaded in the pond which is below the casuarina tree. அந்த casuarina treeக்கு கீழே இருக்க அந்த ஷேடோவில் இருக்க பாண்டில் வாட்டர் லில்லிஸ்லாம் ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகிருக்கு. ஸோ எப்படி வாட்டர் லில்லிஸ்? ஸோ வாட்டர் லில்லிஸ் ஹாவ் ஸ்ப்ரெட் என்டையர்லி த்ரூ அவுட் தட் பாண்ட் அண்ட் இட் ஹாஸ் கவர்டு. அந்த பாண்ட் ஃபுல்லாகவே பார்க்குறதுக்கு ஒரே ஒயிட்டிஷாக இருக்குது, பிகாஸ் வாட்டர் லில்லிஸ் ஹாவ் ஸ்ப்ரெட் அண்ட் இட் கவர்டு த பாண்ட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி the tree is completely covered with white deposits of snow. Okay, so the tree is completely covered with white deposits of snow. So the comparison is made between water lilies and the snow, and there is an open comparison because the word like is given. So again the figure of speech here is simile, right? Now let us go for the next stanza. But not because of its magnificence, dear is the casuarina to my soul, beneath it we have played, though years may roll. O sweet companions, loved with love intense, for your sakes shall the tree be ever dear, Blent with your images, it shall arise in memory, till the heart tears blind mine eyes. What is the dirge like murmur that I hear? So here, listen. What is the dirge like murmur that I hear? So murmuring. So whose quality is murmuring, crying, laughing, smiling, everything? It is the human trait, human quality. So, inga which is murmuring, which the poet says to be murmuring is, the poet is telling that the casuarina tree is murmuring. So, a tree cannot murmur. So, the casuarina tree is personified as a human being having the quality of murmuring. So, the figure of speech here is again, it is personification. Right. Now, go to the next line. Like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. So here, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. So here again the word like is given and the comparison is made between the shingle beach and the murmur. So அந்த murmuring sound எப்படி இருக்கு அப்படின்னா அந்த waves வந்து அந்த pebbles or rocks இருக்க seashore மோதும் போது எப்படி ஒரு sound கேட்குமோ அந்த மாதிரி the murmuring is there. So the figure of speech here is simile. Right. Now let us see the next line. It is the tree's lament and eerie speech. So what is the figure of speech here? Can you identify? So who can give a speech? We human beings can give a speech. Can a tree give any speech? No, definitely a tree cannot give any speech. So it is the tree's lament and eerie speech. So tree cannot lament, that is tree cannot murmur or moan. Tree cannot murmur. So tree cannot give any strange speech. So the figure of speech is personification, right? So that haply to the unknown land may reach. So in this stanza we have seen three figures of speech, that is here we have seen it as personification, next line simile, and the next line is again personification, right? Now let us go for the next stanza. Unknown, yet well known to the eye of faith, and I have heard that wail far, far away. See, listen. In the line, can you identify any figure of speech? Miss ingayum wail irukku, wail na lament. So again the tree is lamenting. Adanal the figure of speech is personification. Sonningina, it is wrong. Why? Because in this line, I have heard that wail. So I refers to the poet Thoridat. Okay, so the poet is hearing. So poet is hearing the lament of the tree from far away distant land. So here that is not personification. Next, when slumbered in his cave the water wraith, and the waves gently kissed the classic shore of France or Italy. Okay, waves gently kissed the classic shore. So here the poet personifies waves. Okay, so waves cannot kiss the shore. Okay, it is not a human trait for waves to kiss a shore. So here there is no, here the figure of speech is personification, because the waves are personified as human beings kissing the shore of Italy and France. Okay, so here it is personification. Next, when earth lay tranced in a dreamless swoon. Okay, so you know already what is meant by trance. So trance means in an unconscious state or in a sleepy state. Okay, so who can be unconscious? Human beings can be unconscious, sleepy, everything. So here what is said to be in a trance position? Trance position. Earth is said to be in trance position. So earth is personified as human beings in an unconscious state or in a deep sleepy state. So again the figure of speech is personification in this line, right? Next, and every time the music arose, mine inner vision arose a form sublime. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loud native clime. Okay, so in this stanza we have seen what are the figures of speech here. And one more thing, yet unknown, yet well known to the eye of faith. Okay, so in this line there is again personification, because well known to the eyes of faith. Okay, so faithங்கிற கண்ணுக்கு மட்டும்தான் அது நல்லா கேட்கும். That is, that lament can be heard properly. Okay, so faith is not a human being, so it cannot hear or see anything. Okay, so here again there is a personification. So here there are how many personification? 1, 2, next 3. Okay, so there are 3 personification in this stanza. Right. Now let us go for the final stanza. Therefore, I fain would consecrate a lay unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for I repose. Okay, so who now in blessed sleep for I repose. So the figure of speech in this line is, it is a new thing for you. It is euphemism. What is it? The figure of speech in this line is euphemism. Now let us see what is meant by euphemism. See, it is nothing but it refers to polite indirect expressions that replace words and phrases considered harsh and impolite. So it is nothing, it is simple. ஒரு harsh impolite wordsக்கு பதிலா, words or phrasesக்கு பதிலா, instead of that ஒரு polite word யூஸ் பண்ணோம், polite or indirect word expression யூஸ் பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னா it is called as euphemism. See, look at the example, you can understand clearly. Died. Okay, so what happened to him? He had died அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறது சொன்னோம் அப்படின்னா அது எப்படி இருக்கும், கொஞ்சம் ஹார்ஷ் டேர்மாக இருக்கும் இல்லையா. ஸோ இன்ஸ்டெட் ஆஃப் தட் we can say passed away, he passed away, he kicked the bucket அப்படின்னா kick the bucket, it is an idiom. Okay, so here it is a phrase. So this is called as euphemism. Instead of this direct word died, a harsh or direct word died, we are using an indirect expression. Both are giving the same meaning. Understand? So this is called as euphemism. See, one more example is there. On the streets, homeless. Okay, so he is a homeless person. அவன் வீடு இல்லாதவன். Okay, so instead of telling that, we can use on the streets. So this is called as euphemism. Now let us see how it matches in the poem. See, who now in blessed sleep for I repose. Okay, so what is the meaning of blessed sleep? It means dead, died. I repose means state of being in a rest, that is death. So both are synonymous to the word death. Okay, so both are synonymous to the word death. So blessed sleep means death, I repose means death. So instead of using the harsh word death, they have used the word blessed sleep in I repose. Okay, so this is called as euphemism. So the figure of speech in this line is euphemism. Right. Now let us see next line. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Mayst thou be numbered when my days are done with deathless trees like those in Barodale. See, listen. So here again we are going to see a new figure of speech. with deathless trees like those in Barrodale. So already we have seen in the last video, Barrodale is a valley in the village of Lorton. நிறைய பேர் லண்டன் எழுதியிருந்தீங்க. It is not London, it is Lorton. Okay, so Barrodale is a valley in the village called Lorton, and there is a tree called yew tree. So the poet William Wordsworth had written a poem called Yew Trees, which is in the Barrodale Valley. Okay, so the figure of speech in this line is called as literary allusion. What is it? Literary allusion. Okay, so what is mean by this is you. What is mean by literary allusion is, see here in this line, the poet has used this word Barrodale. So in the word Barrodale எங்க யூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க அப்படின்னா, it is used in the poet William Wordsworth's poem called Yew Trees. Yew Trees அப்படிங்கிற வில்லியம் வேர்ட்ஸ்வர்த்தோட போயமில் they have used this Barrodale, this word Barrodale. So again it is used here in this poem. Okay, so வேற ஒரு லிட்ரரி ஒர்க்கில் யூஸ் பண்ண போயமை it is given an example again here. So the figure of speech here is literary allusion. So what is the meaning of literary allusion is, it refers to a famous place, person or historical event. So இங்கு இது எதை refer பண்ணுதுன்னா, it is referring to a famous place used by the poet William Wordsworth in his poem Yew Trees. It is his literary work. யாரோட literary work? Literary work of William Wordsworth. So அவங்களோட literary workல இருந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் இந்த போயமில் தௌருதத் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறதுனால the figure of speech here is literary allusion. See, for example, இப்போ இதுவே பைபிளில் யூஸ் பண்ண if a word is used which is in a Bible, பைபிளில் இருக்க ஒரு வேர்டு இங்கே நம்ம வேற ஒரு போயமில் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க poets அப்படின்னா we call it as biblical allusion. Okay, ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வேறு லிட்ரரி ஒர்க்கில் யூஸ் பண்ண வேர்டு இங்கே யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கிறதுனால it is called as literary allusion. Okay, I hope you have understood. Next, under whose awful branches a lingered pale, fear, trembling hope and death, the skeleton and time the shadow. Okay, and time the shadow. Here again the figure of speech is called, can you identify the figure of speech here? So the figure of speech is here metaphor. So here indirect comparison is made, no open comparison is made. Open comparison இருக்கு அப்படின்னா in comparative words like as வந்திருக்கும் இல்லையா. So here an indirect comparison is made which is called as metaphor. Okay, so what is the comparison is, time is compared to the shadow. Okay, so the death is following the poet. So time here refers to the death time. Okay, so time is compared following the poet like a shadow. Nellal madri time is, that is death is following the poet like endha madrina shadow madri. So here indirect comparison is made or hidden comparison is made. So the figure of speech is metaphor, right? And though weak the verse that shadow the beauty fain, how fine rehearse, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Okay, so அந்த forgetfulness அப்படிங்கிற சாபத்தில் இருந்து இந்த போயமில் என்னோட சிப்ளிங்ஸ்க்கு the love which I had shown on my siblings, let this poem protect that my love which I had on my siblings, and that's why the poet has written this immortality poem on the tree called Casuarina tree. So வேர்ட்ஸ்வர்த் எதுக்காக இந்த போயம் எழுதினார்னா, எங்கெல்லாம் இந்த யூட்ரீஸுங்கிற வேர்டை படிக்கிறோமோ அங்கெல்லாம் வேர்ட்ஸ்வர்த்தோட ஞாபகம் வரணுங்கிறதுக்காக எழுதினார். So definitely anyway, hereafter whenever we hear the word casuarina tree, definitely we can remember the poet Thoridith, right? So these are all the figures of speech that we have seen in this entire poem. So in this stanza itself, that is in the last stanza, we have seen two new figures of speech, that is euphemism and literary allusion, right? So mainly the poet has used lots of simile and personification, and apart from that, metaphor, zoomorphism, euphemism and literary allusion we have seen in this poem or casuarina tree. Okay, so hope every one of you have understood all the figures of speech in this poem. Let us meet in the next class. Thank you for watching. Thank you.